One, two, one, two. All right, let's roll.
Welcome.
You're listening to the Saddle Up Podcast,
Where we discuss everything related to UTRGV athletics, past or present. We'll catch up with old teammates, friends, and take you down memory lane.
with exclusive interviews.
This is the Saddle Up Podcast.
The voice of your covered walkway streets. So dope.
This is gonna be awesome.
Stay tuned for new episodes every week.
From Bronx Village to the Field House,
We'll cover it all.
Hell yeah, dude. Carpe diem.
so saddle up and let's go.
Saddle up, partner.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Saddle Up Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Matt. I got G with me. What's up, G?
Hey, what's going on, Matt? We got an awesome guest today, man.
Oh, do we ever? So when we started this podcast, we had the idea of bringing everybody together and celebrating the university, whether it's Pan Am, whether it's UTRGV. And I don't know if you've heard the news, but UTRGV is getting a football team in the next couple of years. They're 0-0. They've been that way since the start, but it's going to change. And our first guest from the football program is none other than John Simmons, Director of Football Operations. John, thank you so much for joining the show today.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here. It's an honor. I've heard a lot of y'all's podcasts, and honestly, just talking with you guys, what you guys are doing for your former PA guys and our UTRGV fans is special. It's cool. I love it.
Well, the fact that you showed up when we asked you, that means a lot to us.
Yeah, that's we're climbing the ladder, man.
There you go. That's funny.
So, John, obviously you didn't attend the university, right? But we'll get into where you came from and where you went to school. But how long have you been in the Valley when were you named, and how long have you lived in the Valley now? And what are your thoughts about living in Edinburgh?
Yeah, great question. Moved here at the end of January. Coach Bush was hired, I think, at the end of December. And brought me on as his first hire, kind of in the late part of January. So we moved down here, moved into an apartment with Coach Bush, and just kind of hit the ground running as soon as we could. And it was really him and I in the office for the first 3 months. And we had a chance to kind of go through some interview process with other coaches, had a chance to bring in 4 coaches and kind of fill our office out. At the same time, they had built us a nice portable office for our football staff to be officed out of from now till we build the Ficaro's Performance Center. So
Yeah.
throughout that process of just a whirlwind of moving from New Braunfels down here to the Valley, living with your boss, who, it was also your coach in college, like it was a whirlwind. But I think, honestly, I couldn't have done it without really the people in this athletic department here on campus. The people like Chase Conk and Molly Kastner and Seth Jones and James Martinez, all of them and our senior staff. That was really their main goal from the start for me, is just make sure I was comfortable getting in here and make sure that, I made those relationships with them and that they knew that, they could trust me and I could trust them for those things. That kind of stuff at this university is special. And I think it's unique for us playing football without being able to play, for another 800 and something days. That piece to me is such an important piece of taking the time to build these relationships, to do it the right way. As any other situation, you jump into a college football job, you're immediately recruiting, immediately signing day, immediately spring football, trying to build your roster, game plan for next year. You don't have time to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a unique opportunity. And it's one of the reasons why I chose this job. I think other than Coach Bush being here and me believing in Coach Bush, it's just the family atmosphere. It's the culture down here. It's the opportunity that these kids get to really have a Division I college football program in their backyard. There's not a college football team other than maybe UTSA Division I South that really they can call their own.
Yeah.
I think to me, I was just called to that, like help the people in the Valley be proud of a college football team that they can call their own, and that that we can all rally towards and really be proud of in the state of Texas. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome, John. What are your daily duties as a director of football operations? What are you responsible for? Mm-hmm.
Are you
So,
like the GM? Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah, I think at my previous institution, the job was chief of staff, and that's really kind of what it is. If you look at Coach Bush as the president of the organization, I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the guy who's going to meet with all of these external affairs, whether it's donors, whether it's people who are trying to sell us equipment for everything that we need to order, or it's marketing, or it's PR, or it's, academics on campus and setting up schedules and professors and housing. I'm doing all of that on the back end right now, behind the scenes, where Coach Bush can really be freed up to go recruit kids, to go, put his face on magazine covers and different things to promote the program in that way. I'm trying to help it to where when we get kids on campus next summer, man, it's the best place to be in Texas, and that these kids have every opportunity to be successful.
John, you mentioned the culture down here, man. How about have you had a chance to go out and kind of venture around a little bit and kind of take that culture in a little bit, like all the taco stands in every corner?
Oh yeah, the food's incredible. I mean, so
have you ever been in the Valley prior? You said you grew up in New Braunfels.
Good question. No, we've been down here one time. I took a camp. I was at Rice University for 6 years, and we had done a travel camp down here in McAllen and San Benito, and had a summer satellite training camp type deal. And then we recruited a couple kids from the Valley. So I had some experience. I tease Coach Bush all the time. My last senior year of high school, we played Far San Juan Alamo North in the playoffs. Had no idea what that place was all about. And Coach Bush's dad was the coach there. But now, come to find out, I live maybe 10, 15 minutes away from there. We got kids on that roster right now we'd love to have. It's a small world. And it's funny how it's all connected in a lot of ways.
That is.
But no real connection. But you did mention the culture down here. And I'll tell you where I got the best experience when I first got here. I went to every basketball game, girls and boys. I started going every baseball game. And what I didn't realize is this was a record-breaking year for season attendance, whether it was a basketball game on a Thursday night and you look up and the crowd is just absolutely packed and into it. And you got people standing out in the Slotsky's Plaza out there. And you're like, wow, this is a school that really supports its athletics at a time right now. That's really impressive to see. And then you start to see it in baseball, and then you start to see these fans and these traditions and the culture that's out at a baseball game. And you're like, man, this is truly amazing. This is prime for a college football. They're ready for it. The tailgating's ready to go.
Oh man, they're ready.
They're ready. Spots.
I'm coming down that first game. Chase already promised me field passes. I'm showing up with G. We're
exactly right.
I'm gonna wear a helmet and everything, but just street clothes. I'm ready.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so we're anticipating that tailgating scene to be pretty impressive after what we've experienced so far in the barbecue scene down here.
Can you imagine what the barbecue scene, what they're cooking in the parking lot for tailgating for the Valley's first football team?
I can't even begin to imagine, Matt. I can only dream about it right now.
My God. Oh,
this is where you plug the season ticket deposit right here at the bottom.
That's exactly what I'll do. And where do they need to call for the season ticket deposit?
Do you have the call Seth Jones. Call Seth
Jones.
Seth Jones.
He'll get them taken care of.
Sure. Awesome. You already hear. You want a season ticket deposit? Call Seth Jones at the athletic department. So there you go. I'll post the number down below. So let me. You mentioned you went to UTSA off camera, right?
Yeah.
What is the significance about attending UTSA and then now transitioning to UTRGV? And I want the listeners to know, you've had experience starting programs before. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if that's just a gift or a curse of mine that I joined college football teams when there was nothing. I remember going into my meeting with Coach Coker. I was a senior in high school, and he had a helmet on his desk, and he said, "This is what we have. Now, can you close your eyes and can you vision this? Can you envision a college football team in San Antonio?
Wow.
Can you envision playing in front of 45,000 people at the Alamo Dome? Can you envision 10 years from now, this being one of the premier programs in the state of Texas, and all of you guys being able to look back and say, yeah, we had something to do with that." So at that time, it's yeah, sure. And then
what high school did you go to?
Man, I'm a unicorn.
New Braunfels High, right?
I'm a New Braunfels unicorn. Yep.
They used to be in our district back in the day, back in the late 90s. But go ahead,
Matt. Let's calm down.
We'll get into that later.
Down a little bit.
Continue, John. Continue.
Bastrop Pride, John.
Yeah.
Bastrop Pride.
Smith
Valley, all those guys, right? New Braunfels. Yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah,
So you're sitting in
at
front of Larry
UTSA
Coker, who was at Miami prior, right? He was,
Yeah.
you know,
And
he
here
was
I am,
winning
this,
national championships.
unassuming white quarterback thinking I'm Ken Dorsey. I've been watching those 2003, national championship games thinking, hey, coach, I'll be your next Ken Dorsey, But honestly, the other person in the room too was Coach Bush. He was our offensive coordinator. He was our quarterbacks coach. He had come from Texas State, which, we had plenty of conversations when I was at New Braunfels about coming to play there. So it all really kind of just worked out. And for that first year, 2010, we didn't play any games. We practiced way more than I think we should have as young kids, just playing against freshman guys.
Yeah.
Like, you look back and it was just a grind, and guys would end up, quitting or transferring or saying this ain't for me, but it really wasn't a true college football experience. So we got through that. Guys were tougher from it. It's almost like the junction days. Like, we became a team, we formed a group. And then we played that second season where we added a whole new group of freshmen and played, good teams. I think we played Oklahoma State and Arizona and really some Big 12 Power 5 teams, and just went through the gauntlet and realized that, hey, this is going to be a challenge. We're not going to be a premier program in year 1 or year 2, but what we're doing right now is important because we're setting a foundation. We're allowing people in the future to say, like, there is a history and there's a tradition that people had to go through before the big, building that they're housed in now, or the fan base that they get now, or the conference alignment that they're in now. That there always was somebody. It's like you guys now. Like, we wouldn't be where we are as an athletic program if it wasn't for the people in the past and what they've paid for us today. I feel like at a place like UTSA, that's who we were. We were trailblazers, pioneers. We took it on. We didn't know what to expect. And honestly, I remember having that vision with guys like Eric Sosa and guys like David Morgan, and telling them, like, man, what's going to be cool is when we bring our kids back to this, and when we tell them, hey, we started this. And now you're starting to see pictures of, like, Sosa's kids standing in front of his big mural at school, and it's like, that's why we did it. So that perspective now is invaluable to me in this job, because it gives me a chance to have a player's perspective and say, what you're going to do here is special, but what you're also going to be able to experience 10 years. And for me, when I learn about it in 20 years, about your legacy and the impact you had in this community by just being a pioneer and saying, I'll be the first. It's something that you'll take a lot of pride in, but a lot of people will praise you for that. I wouldn't be in this opportunity today if I wouldn't have taken that risk.
Yeah, you didn't take that leap. Yeah,
it's exactly what it is.
I love the fact that you said that you guys built the backbone for what the program is today and what it's going to turn out. I feel the same way with G's 13 points against Monterey Tech and the 5 steals in his career. Like, the basketball foundation that Coach Figger is building right now is definitely contributed to G's contribution back in 96 and 97. So those 5 steals,
I can't tell if he's joking or if he's being serious. I just can't tell. But I'm gonna take it as I did. I was a pioneer, and
you were,
and I kickstarted the whole thing. John, you mentioned at UTSA, how some of those guys came in and they, it was kind of like it's survival, right? So guys stayed, some guys left, some. And the backbone stayed together, like you mentioned. What is I'm just curious, and I want listeners to know what the timeline is for UTRGV football. Like, we know there's some guys that are getting recruited from the Valley right now. There's guys who are getting recruited all over the place. What can they expect?
That's a great question, G. Great question.
Yeah, I love that question. To me, it's like, in our jobs is about giving opportunity to kids. So you got to give them some information about when that opportunity is coming. So what I tell kids now is, if you're on campus, if you're listening to this and you're on campus and you're currently enrolled as a student at UTRGV, be patient. You're going to get a tryout as soon as we build some sort of practice field for you to have that opportunity on. We're not going to put you on a high school field that we have to rent or borrow. And we're not in a hurry to put you on, asphalt just for you to run a 40 or to bench press. We're not in a hurry. Just be patient with us. We're going to build a really state-of-the-art practice field. I'd love to talk about the Vaqueros Performance Center, but just be patient. That time will come. We will bring kids in the summer of 2024. So in about a year from
Okay.
now, when we talk, we'll be talking about the 30 to 40 kids that are going to be entering, hopefully into summer school, if not into day one of fall 2024. So
Okay.
high school kids, if you're sitting in high school and you're going into your senior year, there's a potential that you're on the very first team at UTRGV as a football player.
Yeah. So
And
they're
that's
going.
exciting.
They're incoming seniors, right?
Incoming
Guys that are, yeah,
seniors.
class of
Incoming senior
2024,
class of
incoming
2024.
seniors. Once you graduate, you know, have your little summer vacation period now in June, and then you report, you know, late July for what we will have as our, probably won't have a fall camp per se, because we're not
Yeah.
in any rush to start, but first day of school, we'll have, you know, what we call football workouts and stuff and meetings and everything like that. So,
Yeah.
but like I said, that's such a it's a whole year away. And when you're trying to tell an 18 to 22-year-old kid to be patient, your opportunity will come. You just got to be a little patient with us.
And
It's
first
difficult.
game is fall of 24.
Fall of 25. So
Fall
we'll
of
practice a
25.
whole year.
Okay.
And then you go that next fall, and that's when we'll play a full 12-game schedule, 4
Okay.
non-conference and 8 conference games, which will be in what they call the Atlantic Sun and the WAC merged into the United
Yeah,
Football
I
Conference.
saw that.
So
How does
that's another piece of the job, is trying to schedule those
Yeah.
non-conference games for us and what those will look like and where they'll be played and
I'm
Oh,
I'm
that's fun.
curious to know. So if if you've got guys coming in fall of 24 and you go through, let's just say like a season training camp, that's what it is. It's scrimmaging, it's practicing, it's building that foundation. Does the NCAA rule them as 1 year of eligibility? Like, do they lose a year of eligibility because they've been through this training camp, or does their clock start ticking in 25 when y'all actually start playing an actual schedule?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. As it related to us back when I did it, we all used the redshirt year in that first year.
Yeah,
You use the red
that's what I was thinking.
But
Fantastic.
you know,
Okay.
as the years go on, it's been 13 years. That's something that the NCAA is still kind of looking at to see, does that make sense? You know, for a team to have to burn a redshirt year, or and really the only thing it kind of relates to is for a transfer. Does a transfer want to sit out another year and forego a season of eligibility just to sit out in 24? So that's when we start to kind of prioritize transfers, and the transfer portal as something we would look towards in 25. So once
Of
we have
course.
that full practice season, you kind of say, okay, we need this position and we need that position. Let's go look at the transfer portal where we can fill that in right now.
Yeah.
Whereas the first year, you kind of want those guys that are high school guys that have built a program in high school, that are leaders, that are going to say, hey, I'm here for the 4-year investment of this thing because I want my name remembered as one of the original 20 or 30 guys.
I think G might even try out. G.
That's hard to do.
I
you know,
can,
that's hard to do.
John. I can go back, right, and
G
play.
was a
I mean, even
quarterback.
though,
Sure.
yeah,
We'll take
John.
it.
You know, here's a fellow quarterback. You know,
Yeah.
and I never stood in front of a college coach and ever got recruited by one like you did. But I did break a few passing records in my high school, man.
St. Joe's All-American.
I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty proud of that. And we ran a lot of 10-yard slants, and I had some guys that could really run it for extra yardage. but yeah, man. Anyway, thanks, Matt, for bringing that up. I appreciate you, man.
All you gotta get is 3 new ACLs, and you'll be okay, G.
A few more than that. Yeah. But I appreciate that.
So you moved down. You're living with Coach Bush in a what did y'all say? A studio apartment, or what
No,
was it?
it's a 2-bedroom.
Oh,
one
it's
bath.
2-bedroom. Okay.
Yeah, it's a model home in Weslaco. So we're even like 35 minutes away from campus. Like, it's
was
not
where?
the best center. It's in Weslaco.
Weslaco.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're
All
a
right,
little
so
ways
yeah,
away.
Yeah. And so you're living there, and you just mentioned off camera that you're engaged. So has your fiance, I'm assuming she's visited the Valley yet? Like, is she from New Braunfels also, or like?
Yeah. So
what does she think of
this
the
is a good
Valley?
story. Yeah, this is a great story. So met my fiance when I was back in New Braunfels working with Coach Bush at the high school he was at. And she is actually from Mexico, from Guadalajara, Mexico. Her and her family were born and raised there. Then she transferred or family moved to Bulverde when she was a sophomore in high school, and she attended Smith Valley High School, went to Incarnate Word, and then came back and was a middle school English teacher at Smith Valley Middle School, and that's where we had met. So when I took the job down here, I told her about the Valley. She wasn't familiar with a border town like the Valley, but she was more familiar with the culture, the food, the people.
Yeah.
And she fell in love with the idea of moving down here. She came down here, visited. She loved it. We bought a house. We actually get married, and this is the 14th. We get married on the 30th. So coming up soon, we're going to take a nice honeymoon. So there's not a better job in America for me.
G and I can make the wedding. Just
John,
let us know.
that's what I was gonna say. Is Saddle Up invited, or
we're the three best friends right here. Like we'll show
I
up.
learned one lesson, and that is you don't make any decisions. You let her make all the decisions. You just say yes.
Right. We'll make sure we share this link with her. So
Yeah, we're gonna share the link.
Y'all got a chance if we could share the link. That's for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
So, in your exploration of the Valley, what are some what's one of your favorite spots to eat? I'm stealing G's question, but what's
that's okay.
I think better way to phrase this is, where are we thinking about taking recruits on official visits to eat? Right.
Ooh,
So
absolutely.
great
I'm
question.
not a big food guy. I mean, I was a quarterback, didn't eat much, whatever, but constantly thinking, how can we sell to 18 to 22-year-old kids? One of the best places, in my opinion, is in Westaco. Arturo's is a Mexican grill. Love that place.
Yep.
And then Solomon on Main. That's a place where we like to go.
Oh yeah.
Where else here? Palenque Grill. It's a place we go to lunch.
Yeah.
There by the mall.
Have you tried Costa Mesa?
Costa Mesa is over
that's
there.
amazing.
We go to that.
Yeah.
If you guys had any good barbecue places, our best barbecue has just kind of been out at tailgates in right field. But there's a place called 492 Barbecue. It's got a great little atmosphere and venue.
Yeah.
I want to be careful that I don't plug any of our non-corporate sponsors here, but
Well, then
John,
we'll do
there's
it.
a place.
There's a place in Edinburgh called Willie B's.
Willie B's,
Willie B's is good.
Yeah, Willie B's.
Okay.
John, I'll get
Draft House.
Draft House is good. Yeah, down
Draft
at
House is
University.
good. Yeah.
There's a place in Far San Juan that I'll send you. I got to get the name, but
Okay. And then
it's
there's a new place.
legit.
We don't go often because it's a little pricey, but it's called Salt. It's in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
It's it's owned by Solomon on Main. All those guys, same place.
Mhm.
That's another good place to go. So, I mean, the food is unbelievable down here. Throughout the whole valley, right? Like from the lower valley in Brownsville all the way mid valley where we live, and even here in Edinburgh. So it's been great.
Yeah.
The best places to eat the best places to eat when I was living down there usually are on the weekends when you get invited to the barbecue, where it's
I got a story about that.
Hey, we're barbecuing, we're watching the football game or whatever, and then it's
I got a story about that.
oh wow, this is amazing. This is better than any restaurant, So go ahead and share your story.
Y'all been out there at what's it called? Stock show and rodeo out in
Mercedes.
Yeah.
The Border Patrol a few weeks ago had a big barbecue cook-off out there, and they had probably close to 20-25 teams doing a barbecue cook-off. Well, I had volunteered to go and show up and just hang out as part of a UTRGV representative, athletics representative.
Marketing, yeah.
And they asked me if I wanted to be a
PR.
judge, and I got to judge the barbecue. And I'm
Oh
telling you,
my
Border
goodness
Patrol
gracious.
out there, they can cook anything you want, and
Yeah.
had some of the best barbecue. And not only barbecue, like beans, potato salad. I mean, they had everything. So that was my
Wow.
best experience. So it's not a restaurant. I wish I could get
That's
their business
amazing.
card and get it catered.
That's
Yeah, it was a good
amazing, man. You
experience.
you stumbled into that one, John.
Seriously, the job has some perks for sure.
Yeah, how do you go back to the apartment and say, Coach Bush, you're not gonna believe what I stumbled into today?
Yeah,
this
no,
is amazing.
exactly.
You roll
That's
back into the house because you're
Yeah.
just eating all the barbecue,
That's
You had a
exactly.
chance to visit the island, John. I know that's gonna be quite a recruiting tool, right?
Yeah, as we say, it's minutes away from campus.
Yeah.
Just I haven't gotten a chance out there, but I will
Yeah.
certainly once my fiance or my wife comes down here, and then we'll do some advanced trips. We're gonna hopefully be able to put a team out there when they visit us and they play us, be able to put a team in South Padre Island.
Yeah, absolutely.
A visiting hotel. So yeah, I'll spend a lot of time out there just trying to create relationships with the business.
Do some team bonding, some beach workouts out there.
Yeah, for sure. I think,
man.
to me, there's not another FCS market in Texas that can offer what we can offer down here in the Valley. So
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And a lot of teams don't have saddle up. I'll tell you that much.
that's right. I'll tell you that too. That's something that your listeners and all of us, if they want to really help us out, is obviously the biggest thing right now for us is marketing and getting our name out there for other kids and other people to know that there's a Division I school starting football in Texas. That's a big deal. Not everybody knows about it. So we're looking for like a catchy hashtag. Rally the Valley is like obviously as good as it gets, but we really feel like that for us in football kind of talks to us, to the Valley, rallying us. We're talking to kids in Houston and Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, across the state that it really doesn't resonate much with them. So if your listeners are creative, we could use some fan
contest,
G.
Let's do that. I think John came up with our first contest.
Yeah, he came up with our first contest. So here's the little known fact. Awesome. G actually came up with the name of the show. Mm-hmm. We were going back and forth, and he came up with Saddle Up. And so, G's the creative one. And so it's usually over a lot of whiskey, but we'll take care of that. We'll think of something.
Crowdsource it to the millions of viewers that we have, and we'll just make sure somebody can submit it online without getting it interfered.
One out of the million, one out of the 7 viewers that we have, John. I hope they can pull through.
If you've got ideas, submit them to Seth down at the number below.
Seth Jones.
That's right,
man.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Man. Well, so we're wrapping up, but John, thank you so much for joining the show and lending your knowledge. Like I never knew that it was so, I mean, obviously I knew it was extensive, but to the degree of what you have to go through 2-3 years prior to actually taking that first snap on record, that it's amazing, and how lives are affected, man. Where you're being pulled from New Braunfels, Central Texas, down in the Valley to a region you've never been to, and starting a program and marketing and doing barbecue contests. Like, it's one of those things where, thank you for what you're doing for the school, because as alum, I truly appreciate it. And I could speak for G. I know he does as well. So
I do, man.
Thank you so much.
And I just want to add, Matt, that, the things that John went through those first few years, not only did it kind of, obviously he's got memories and stories and just the experiences that he has, as a football player, but look at what John's doing now. A lot of kids dream about being a college football coach. They dream about, wanting to be at that high level or that highest stage as a player and as a coach. And it takes that perseverance, that patience, that resilience, man, to go through those years of not stepping on the field, but doing what you needed to do, to get those experiences, to make those connections, and to build on that dream that they have, man. So John, kudos to you, man, for your path and your journey, and you're a great role model for these kids, man.
I agree. I have one more question. So you came in the spring, and this is going to be your first fall in the Valley, right? So what are you predicting that your schedule is going to be during Friday night football? Because in the Valley, high school football is huge, so are you guys gonna kind of schedule like, hey, you go this way, go check out this game? Like, what is the strategy for Friday night football for you guys?
So there's always a strategy. There's always a plan, and we always got it. So I think Coach Bush's son is actually a high school junior, so he's gonna kind of be out of the picture watching his son play high school games for the next few years. But there's NCAA rules that allow us to only really kind of watch one game for a team in the fall. So I'll even make it another game show here. you guys, as your fan base, tells me which is the best Valley game to go to. I'll attend the game this fall,
man.
Because right now I
John,
really
man,
don't have
wow.
I don't have any preference. I know
Wow.
these high school coaches down here.
There's
well.
oh man,
So I
there's
think-
gonna be so many showdowns. Like there's
No.
gonna be so many shows. Like the oh man, the Cardinals versus the Hawks, right? What do you
The
call it?
Bird Bowl.
The Bird
Yeah.
Bowl. Then you got San Benito versus whatever, the Arroyo Bowl.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. It's
let me
crazy.
let me just throw this in there now. Aren't high school teams like showing the games on the web now?
Oh yeah, I mean we have access to all their film, but there's
Yeah.
something about being there in the stadium,
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
I watched San Benito's softball team just make a run to Austin in the state tournament, and they sold out that stadium, the softball stadium in Austin, with their fan base. And I would imagine not all of them were San Benito fans. It's exactly what your shirt says. They rallied the Valley.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, man, this is our opportunity to show who we are down here. And that's really what it's all about. I think, like G said, I think whether I'm a good role model or not, I know for a fact somebody gave me an opportunity as a small town kid in New Braunfels to play for his hometown or his hometown team in San Antonio. And I'm just hoping I can do that for somebody here in the Valley. If there's a junior in high school or a sophomore in high school that's thinking, I want to play college football, dude, your lucky day just happened because we got Division I college football now. So now you just got to work.
Right.
You got to believe in yourself, and these opportunities will show up. It's a lot of it's timing. And it's an awesome opportunity for me to be in this opportunity, giving back to kids and coaches in this area. So
Well, you're an amazing human being, and I'm so excited that the university has you.
Matt, we got him on Saddle Up when he
We
was
got
a
him
football operations guy. He's going to be a head coach in the future, man.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for being on, man.
Or a
No,
GM or a
put that on
GM for an NFL team. And then when you're the GM for the NFL team, we're
Shout us
gonna
out,
show
please.
up at your office. We're gonna do the episode
Remember-
again. So
Sure. I'll just take the third
Remember
man
us,
of this
yeah.
crew and I'll be good.
That's right. Remember us, John. Remember us.
All righty, man.
That's
Man, I
amazing.
appreciate you, man.
John, thank you so much for joining the show. Till then, guys, next week we're gonna have another great guest. We appreciate you tuning in every week. Bees up.
Bees up.
Bees up.